Joining us now is Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, former Virginia gubernatorial candidate and a former CIA officer who was in Kyiv just last month, along with a bipartisan delegation of Intelligence Committee members. So, Congresswoman Spanberger, and we should also point out you were running for governor. The New York Times is reporting this, that Moscow is using these techniques. Does this comport with what you believe to be the reality? I'm avoiding asking you about anything that's classified.
So this aligns completely with what we know to be true of Russian behavior. There is substantial information detailing how in the run-up to the 2016 elections, the Russians endeavored to operate influence campaigns to divide the American people, to create divisions, to create infighting, in an effort to have an impact on kind of the on-the-ground conversations related to our 2016 elections. That is well documented. And now, in advance of the 2024 elections, the fact that the Russians would be operating influence efforts to their own benefit in an effort to divide Americans over the issue of our support to Ukraine is a clear threat and challenge. The purpose here can be twofold: dividing Americans, creating domestic and political challenges and difficult discourse over issues and lies created by the Russians. And if they are successful, not only have they succeeded at impacting the thoughts of kind of the American population, but their goal would be to see us not deliver aid to Ukraine, because the aid that we deliver to Ukraine helps our Ukrainian partners in their ability to defeat Vladimir Putin's army and this war of horrific Russian aggression. And it is now more important than ever that members of Congress be the responsible adults in the room, explain to our constituents, explain to the American people why it is in our national security interest to continue supporting, along with our partners throughout the world, to continue supporting our Ukrainian allies as they fight their war, not just for their own freedom, but for the basic principles of democracy that the United States should want to consistently uphold, certainly at home and with our allies.
And I also want to ask you about the reports that some Democrats are promising to protect the speaker from being ousted in exchange for him acting, acting on the Ukraine money. Where do you stand on this?
If Speaker Johnson brings forth the bill, the National Security Supplemental that would fund our support to Ukraine, which I think is not just an obligation, but it is also in our best interest. If Speaker Johnson were to bring this bill forward, a bill that received 70 votes in the United States Senate, and as a result, members of his Republican conference seek to oust him, I would absolutely vote to table that motion because we need him to do his job, which is to bring bills that will pass for a vote. And if he were to bring that bill for a vote and face a motion to vacate as a result, I would absolutely vote to table that motion and shut it down.